Welcome back to my mental health crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is all my thoughts, my speculations, and my opinions. This is the case of the Idaho 4. May the victims rest in peace. Condolences to their families. May the correct justice be served. I like to go back to the Amazon Prime episodes of One Night in Idaho Moscow College on the livings. Before 911 was called, DM called Hunter, Emily, and Jody. Emily and Jody live together. Hunter lives or stays with his girlfriend, so they all three came over. And Emily said that DM was normal on the phone. She wasn't panicking and all. She said we were joking. She said, as a joke, I even said, should I bring my pepper spray with me? So not only did DM take 8 hours to call the police, she didn't feel like there was still any danger. But yet again, there had to be some concern, because let's not forget she ran down to BF's room. Something doesn't add up with the surviving roommates' behaviors. The college started texting each other, college students. I hear 2 of them are unalived. What happened? And then the person says, who's outside the house? So basically it was Hunter Chapin, Hunter Johnson, Emily, Jody, Eva Wood were outside the house. I don't know if there were more people. And then the person replies, I'm locking my doors. That's a good call. Maddie's boyfriend, Jake, who was in Boise, Idaho that night, he lives there, was the one who made the call to Maddie's mother saying that 4 students have been unalived. How did he know? I'm sure he's been to the university, so he would know many fraternity boys and sorority girls and college students. Somebody must have told him. How sad. So he called Kevin and he said, do you know what's going on in Moscow right now? She said, no. So he said, I think there's been a homicide at Maddie's house. And Maddie's mom spoke to her the day before. She spoke to the other students too, the other victims too. How sad. This is interesting. Maddie's mother, Karen, called Maddie's phone immediately. It was ringing. Nobody was answering. Then she decided to call Kaylee's phone, and it was ringing too. No answer. We have Eva Wood, the neighbor, Zana's friend, who said that the girls, Maddie and Kaylee's phones were pinging, the location was pinging in from the house. And Maddie's mother said she kept on calling both the phones, it was ringing. Kaylee's mother said the same thing too, that she called Kaylee, Maddie, and Jack's phone, and they all were ringing. So my question is, the phones had to have been inside the house. Did any of the surviving roommates or their friends touch the victim's phones, or do the police have the victim's phone? Because that would have given a lot of information about the students, the victims' whereabouts, their last text messages, who they spoke last to, who logged off Kaylee's LinkedIn account. It would have even showed if somebody made a call if somebody called 911 from Kaylee or Maddie's phone during the unalivings, or if Kaylee called 911 from a phone at the corner club, like it was said, like the rumors that were going on. So Maddie's mother was on her way to Idaho, Moscow. She thought that there was a homicide at 1122 King Road, but she did not believe something happened to Maddie or Kaylee. So she thought, let's take them out to dinner and talk to them. But unfortunately, it was all for victims. Then we have Hunter Johnson, who runs over to the Sigma Chi, wakes up Hunter Chapin, and tells him his brother and son are unalived. And I find it strange that Hunter Johnson told Jody, Emily, and the surviving roommates later on that there was no pulse. That's how he knew they were unconscious. What about the red liquid? What about the smell? Something is not right here, my opinion. Jody said herself, and so did Hunter, the second we came into the house, we knew something was wrong. Was it the smell? There was rummaging upstairs, so I'm sure things were tossed upside down. And why was DM so calm about it? She saw a man with black mask. He left through the sliding door. She heard Kaylee saying, I think somebody's here. She heard somebody saying to Zana, I'm here to help. She saw Zana on the floor. She ran down to BF's room instead of running outside and calling for help. And yet again, she just called Emily to come over. Jody said herself, if DM heard any little noise, she would call me and Emily and say, bring your boyfriends over, I heard something, even if a pen falls. So if she gets so easily concerned, paranoid, worried, or whatever, why didn't she call 911? Why didn't she call Jody, Emily, Hunter, and Jody's boyfriend when things were going on in the middle of the night? Maddie Morgan called Maddie Morgan called DM. Why didn't she answer? BF. Why didn't she answer? What was going on? So there was an active homicide that happened that night. A quadruple, actually. And DM didn't feel the need to call 911. Yet she knew there was something concerning going on because she and BF were talking about it, texting each other. She was running down to BF's room, so it doesn't make sense. You can see the red and blue cop sirens on. You can see it's really quiet there. This is 11:58 in the afternoon on the 13th of November 2022. 2 vandal alerts were put out. The second one was more in detail, that there were 4 homicides at 1122 King Road and people should avoid the area. This is when Eva's talking about where is Kaylee and Maddie. She said everyone was talking about Zana and Ethan, and then she remembered, where's Kaylee and Maddie? And she said their phones were pinging from the house. So I wonder if anyone took their phones after that. I wonder how many people went upstairs before the cops came and saw Maddie and Kaylee lying in bed. Sorry, unalived in bed. I wonder what position, what locations they were found in, because the mayor wouldn't say that. When she was asked if all 4 of them were found in each other, she said, I don't think I'm allowed to tell you that. That's going to be interesting when the gag order comes out. I wonder if they were found the same way they were unalived, or if they were moved. Let's not forget, these people had 8 to 9 hours before they called 911. The knife sheet even, we don't know how the knife sheet ended up near Maddie. It's possible that BK forgot it there, and it's possible that BK had nothing to do with it. I don't see anyone telling the truth here, so I don't find any reason for me to be believing them. It's very strange. After Jack D, after the 10 calls, these 2 poor victims made to Jack D, they were deleted. Want to know why Maddie was making that call to BF, Bethany Funk, at 2:53? I don't believe that Maddie was just calling to tell her good night. Something must have happened. Maddie must have needed help. Why didn't BF answer? BF and DM weren't sleeping at all. They were texting each other, taking pictures, taking photos for a minute. That's what BF was doing. They were calling the fathers and mothers, calling everyone except the lawyers. But they don't need to call the lawyer because their parents are lawyers, I guess. In my opinion. Eric Gower and DM texting each other just doesn't sit right to me either. It was really sad. Maisie said that Hunter Chapin, her brother, called her and he said to ask somebody for a ride and to meet him at Xana's house. She said I hopped into the car and I couldn't understand what was happening, but I just felt like crying. I knew something was weird. They usually say that triplets and twins have some kind of the same sensations and feelings, and they feel what the other twin is feeling. I wonder if that was what happened in this case. Poor girl. What a beautiful family picture. Photo. The part that I would actually like to talk about is when the college students found out, they started texting each other. I know everyone was in shock and panic. People were guessing, speculating. but I'm sure they would know best. They're the community, they're the college students. And I find it strange that the rumor that was going around was there was an OD, overdose, that the victims got a bad badge and they OD'd. That makes me believe that could be the reason they're not telling us the autopsy results. They could have been OD'd first, and then it could have been a stage unaliving scene. Anything is possible in this case. The second thing that crosses my mind is number 9 putting something in Maddie's mouth, allegedly. Now that is a second thing that makes me believe that Ruggs was involved, or could have been involved. The third thing is it makes me ask questions. Like, was Emma Bailey and Demetrius seen that night? Were they the ones who brought the Rugs over? And we even heard rumors in the beginning that Maddie flushed $70,000 worth of rugs, or she threw it in one of the bins, and that's why people were coming to get them. And that would make sense, because that's exactly what Showalter said. You know we're going to get you for that, Maddie. That lines up, actually. I'm not saying that the students OD'd, but I'm wondering why the college students were going around saying that they got a bad badge of Rugs. Sorry. What do y'all think happened? Everyone's behaviors were just so odd. All the interviews were just so... I didn't see any genuine emotions. This is all my thoughts and my opinions. The one I felt the most emotions from was from Maddie's mother, stepfather. Ethan saw the mother. I don't know what these other youngins were up to, even the Chapin twins. I could see more emotions coming more on this. On this clip, you can see more emotions from Maisie's side, Hunter's sister, and Ethan's sister. I'm sure the shock won't let them even grieve. You can't have a proper bereavement. You can't go through a bereavement if the killer is on the loose. All the suspects on the loose. They were searching for suspects in the beginning. Please let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a nice day. May the victims rest in peace. Tomorrow is the hearing, the plea deal hearing. I hope it goes well. I hope the families get more explanations and a proper apology if Koberger did it. I hope more comes out. Please subscribe to Outcast, Bianca. They have channels and they're really kind, decent people. They make you feel comfortable in their channel, in the live stream. I don't do live streams, but if I had a live stream, I would have definitely, which was my choice, going to a live stream. You'd see me in Outcast's channel because they're a really good family. Take care, guys, and have a lovely day.